Hello, this is Mason Cook of the Team Extendables, showing off their build. This is revision number, or at least the number 823503. This is our PNP 6 Milestone 1 build. You can see it right here. And I will click on it. This is not my first take, but it should load a lot faster now that it's in RAM. Ooh, secret message. I wonder what it says. If the capture is a little weird, that's because the game is automatically setting itself to 1080p. I'll quickly go ahead and change it real quick. Window full screen. And just like that, should be good. There we go. Now it's not like a box. Weird box. So, here we are. This is Renegade 17. Our new title. We finally decided on one. Like Mortal Kombat, deciding the title at the last minute. So, with that said, let me go over some of my issues that I have here. Now that recording issues are sorted out. So, the first thing I'll show off is my, is the issue for the colors. And here you see, here's a drop-down box with all the different options. And look, I can just pick whatever I want. Go with this one, and this one, and this one. And I'm not choosing a particular order, it's just random stuff. I have a bunch of different options. I chose colors that would specifically look good on the interface. Dark colors aren't really the best looking for it, so I chose lighter colors and stuff. And it works perfectly fine. It lets you, so let me view the issue real quick. Yeah, the menu color successfully changed via the menu, so yeah, it's good. And now I'll show off the rest of it. I'll go with the light green because it's a cool little minty color, and I love green. So, okay, so we have right here, as a player, I want to change the resolution of the game so I can make the game match my monitor's resolution or lower to increase performance. I feel like playing this game on 480p. I don't know what you're... Oh, it might be because I'm in windowed full screen. There we go. Now I can play it at 480p. Look at that. I thought I screwed up there. Okay, nope, I'm all good. So there we go, you can see that I can, wabam, change the resolution. You just have to not have windowed full screen or full screen enabled. You have to have it in windowed mode. But yeah, that one's complete. And then we have, right here, we have VSync. Most of these options have like the same exact completion criteria, just replace VSync with some other issue or whatnot. Like VSync should be changeable via an option to do so in the video options. Well, it's the exact same for resolution and window mode and anti-aliasing and view distance and color mode and resolution. So I don't feel like showing them this again and again. They're the same issue. I really should have just made them subtasks. whatever. I'll just say, hey, I can do it. Alright, so I will change yeah, I showed the resolution. The next one is the window mode, and I just showed that too. Now I'll do VSync, and okay, I can apply it, and there's no longer going to be any screen tearing because it matches. It's a little hard to demonstrate some of these things because it's a little subtle, and you can't really see it until you get in game. But trust me, VSync is on. Just take my word for it. I promise. VSync is on. Then we have anti-aliasing quality. Let's go on here, and we turn it down to low. Just look at that. Look at those chunky little aliasing spots on there. It might be a little hard to see, but yeah, you can see the aliasing on there. Once I turn it back up to ultra, should be way better. Yeah, look at that. Nice and smooth. Alright, so next we have view distance. Again, this is a little hard to demonstrate since this is just the title screen, but trust me, it works, along with the rest of the settings. It's like, it'll work, it will, it applies with the rest of the settings. If one setting works while being applied, because it applies the global graphic settings, the other ones will apply. And you saw what happened with the anti-aliasing. That should work. And now, with that complete, we'll move on to the resolution of the texture quality. Yeah, so let me turn it down to low just to show you. Again, it's a little hard to tell. Let me just turn it up to extreme. Yeah, it's a little hard to tell unless you get up close. But again, it's another thing that's like, yeah, take my word for it. Like, it's going on. It's just a little hard to see, like, in this, thing. And then we have the other ones, but I don't need to demonstrate them. Because I added those out of my own volition. Just to make it complete. To put in the hard work. And now that's just a bunch of them knocked out. And that's looking cool. Okay. Let's move on to the actual game. We are almost 8 minutes in. And we're just getting started.
Access.
There you go. Play the campaign now. Keep an eye out for some of these loading screen tips. They're pretty cool. Alright, WASD to walk. I will set my stat FPS so I can keep track of those things. I will actually set my settings to high so I can have the game perform a little better. I'm gonna turn virtual sync off. You see that, you should see more screen tearing and stuff. It might be a little hard to tell, but yeah, there's a little bit of screen tearing. I'll set VSync to be yes.
Welcome to your training exercise, candidate 007253. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with your basic motor functions to ensure that they are functioning at maximum capacity.
So, it's no big deal.
This is a door. I understand.
Actually, I'll turn down the music and the SFX.
You must be
so you can hear my voice better.
Despite what concepts such as logic,
Yeah, so I'll just continue with
the job
that.
of being a soldier is also being an electrician. Please replace the fuse in the fuse box.
Yeah, this is my level. I have little improvements here, like changing the bridge texture.
Great job applying your skills, candidate. You figured out how to use a...
Wait.
Now is the time for the first real challenge. One where you're very...
I actually bypassed the jump thing, but I jumped to begin with, so the player would know how to...
Don't worry.
Whatever, skip it as a tutorial prompt isn't a big
clean
deal.
up the mess you'll make on the floor.
You can see I've... Yeah, I actually already had Greeble in this. And now I take a little bit of damage there, and I go and heal once I get through here. Also, you'll notice that the doors slide now.
case of your actions taken during this training course leading to injury, please understand that you are not liable for any injuries or death sustained in the bounds of this facility. But we can temporarily aid you.
You also see on those pop-ups that the icons actually match the color now. If you look back at previous builds, you will notice that they did not. So that's pretty cool, I guess. I completed that issue. I showed the completion criteria for it. If you're doubtful of me being able to complete that, here it is. Icons of the pop-up menus match the overall menu color, and they do. You saw that flashlight with your own eyes. Don't deny it. Alright, so go to event as normal. You can see a little more Greeble I added. Parts of it had Greeble before, but I added Greeble to more parts, like this area. You can really see the Greeble here. This wasn't here before, so I added this. And you can see that with the other parts coming up, except for the maintenance areas, which I felt like Greeble wouldn't be appropriate there. So I can basically mark that off. Where's the... Yeah, we covered interesting Greeble patterns. Greeble patterns are found until the reception area. Yeah. You'll see that later. Details added to the other parts of the environment as well. And you'll see that later as well. Like with extra props, especially in the reception area, you'll see that we replaced the speakers with the actual model, which is pretty cool. And we have... as the player, I want... Okay, whatever. I was gonna keep continuing until I get to the cats. So I just kill the zombie and move on.
I've seen your responses to your suit messages. You must think you're so smart.
I'm usually not like as excited about working on the project and demonstrating it and stuff, but I had a terrible day, kind of. I noticed that that it slows down if the event tick is if it's running a little slow. I think I could actually like maybe do some calculations with the delta time, maybe multiply it by the delta time to make sure that it goes at the same pace, because normally it goes pretty fast, but that time went pretty slow because the performance was taking a hit. But yeah, I will just do this puzzle as normal. This is not part of the demonstration of the issues. It's basically the exact same. There's a little exploit. Let me try it. Oh. Hell yeah! Sorry. That's a little exploit I purposely left in, where you can throw it up there, put the cube up there to lift that, so you can complete it with one cube. I purposely left that in as a little skill test. And there is an Easter egg here, which I will show you later.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
Because
it seems the door has been broken.
I want to play through the rest of it and show you the cat collectibles. But I will do that on my second playthrough. Don't worry. Don't you worry,
okay,
child.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Get back here immediately! That's an order! You listen to me, and listen real good. Stop what you're doing this instant, and we can settle for just having an unsatisfactory mark on your permanent record. I could do worse things to you right now.
I saw the loading screens earlier when the game has to load. You also see it in the level streaming when I get to the end of the level. Let me extend there.
That settles it. We all know what side you are on now, and I'll make sure you won't leave this facility alive. Was it worth it? Because soon there'll be a hail.
Oh, you can also see like the lights in there. There was an issue about the lighting in the area and in the facility, and like adjusting it to make sure everything's not excessively bright. It is bright right now, but it's like not excessively so. It's kind of like at everything is dark and there's just these really blinding lights, and that's intentional. Also, you can see the extra detail I've added here where I replace these with actual meshes. I really like them. That falls under the agreeable thing of like adding extra detail. And you can see like that blinking light over there kind of catching the player's attention. So they're like, where do I go? I can see the light bridge is right here, like just a little segment of it that shows that there is a light bridge. And then there's also that blinking light over there. As a general rule, I tend to use the blinking lights as kind of a, hey, look over here. And that same for this as well, like kind of directing you over here. So, there you go. You can see the lighting issue right here. Where is it? The lighting issue. Yeah, so basically lighting levels should be more consistent for each room, or at least be more appropriate for the setting. Lights subtly guide the player. The rooms throughout the facility are too bright or too dark. And I think I meet all of those qualifications based on what I've shown you so far. I also showed you the 3D title screen. Scene should be viewable. Menu functionality should remain. Scene is a small room with menu theme playing. You saw that earlier. You can use your own eyes to see that. You rewind. I was there for like 7 minutes. Lighting levels, yep. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good so far. I think I've got most of them done, except for a few I'll have to demonstrate later. In my second playthrough. Yep. There we go.
They're on their way now. You're not gonna like what's
yeah. So I added some music up here. It's really cool. It like helps elevate the mood and build tension. Sorry if it's a little loud. I may have forgot. Oh, I accidentally slowed myself a little bit. That's okay. See there's a loading screen. Also, there's a random growl. That is a known bug. Please don't complain about it.
I know I can't convince you to change your ways.
So I will let that roll
you're
out.
set in this path,
I will
and I
take
can't
this.
change that. Just know that you're
I can actually demonstrate a feature here. Recharging alt fire.
That will be tasked with
So
ensuring your death.
I will fire off all my alt rounds, and after a little while, they will recharge. You see right there, it turned from 0 to 1. It's right there. I can fire it again, and I'm good. And it won't recharge over 3. Let me pull up that issue real quick. I can let it recharge while it's doing that. Yes. So here we have, I want my alt fire to be recharged over time. Alt fire can't recharge over the limits. And recharge must be slow, taking somewhere in the range of 30 to 60 seconds. And it is within that range. If you'll just recharge. There we go. 1. Yeah, we got it. Let's actually make the game run a little faster. We got... Come on. Slow-mo. 4. 2. Wha-bam. And then it goes to 3. Won't go over 3 because we clamped it. Very specifically. So that is that issue done and dusted. So I got the SMG here just by using the all weapons cheat that I used earlier by accident. It's just kind of instinctual. Nope. I do not want to add a shortcut. Please don't. Also, I will show this in my later playthrough because I was too distracted, but there are cat collectibles. Now I will restart. And show that. I love the little loading screen tips I had. They're kind of cool. I had a secret in there, so. Alright, so I'm not really going to commentate this much.
To your training exercise, candidate 007253.
Actually, why should
Please
I
take a
obey
moment
the
to
laws?
familiarize yourself with your basic motor functions to ensure that they are functioning at maximum capacity.
Why should I just obey the
If,
law?
for whatever reason, your limbs have failed to meet the requirements necessary for functioning at maximum capacity, God help you.
I will show you where the first cat location is using these cheats. It is right here. It's a little kitty. I have 2 issues for the cats. You can see, oh wait, I will disable ghost by pressing block. Here we have a little kitty. That's a little glitch I'm leaving in where you can, if you just look at them at a specific angle, they'll just spin around in circles, and I find it kind of funny. They have an E over them, and they make cat noises, and if you press E, you collect them. There we go, rescued Felix, 1 out of 12. Yes, so I have the cat collectibles under 2 issues. Basically, this is for the cat itself, and this is for the placement of the cat. Yeah, so it kind of qualifies as both. I have them placed throughout the levels, through each person's level. It should be good. Are found in every level in similar amounts and hidden in proper locations. This is a hidden location right here. Normally you just fall down, walk through, but if you look around, I just realized that's floating. Oops. Whatever. Yeah, but if you turn around and look right here, oh, little kitty. I'll show you in a second. Oh, okay, this guy. Alright, now I'll show you the location of the second kitty. There we go. Alright, let's go and find the other kitty. There's the other kitty. His name is Bailey, named after my neighbor's cat growing up. That was probably just an issue. Yeah, it saves it though. Like, it creates a saved game and loads it. So yeah, the cat collectibles, they can be found in different parts of the levels. You'll see them in later parts of the levels if the other people show them. And cats already obtained in previous playthroughs should not be added to the count again. I do that via a save. Adds the cat to the player's collection of found cats stored within a variable, like in a save game. It can be viewed at any time by the menu. Cats can be pet as a form of interaction. Yeah, you go up and interact with them. That's basically petting them, and you rescue them. So that's complete. So let me go to my final issue. Turn on. Yeah, there we go. I believe this is my final issue. It is the kind of the Easter egg. Let me fly through here. Yeah, let me go down to this part. So helpful. Let me just walk. Go through here, and you'll see.
Oh, fiddlesticks. It seems the door has been
that
broken.
the door will be
Please
broken.
wait for the door to be fixed by our
And
engineers.
they'll say wait for 6 hours, but understand. I don't have time to wait for 6
Okay,
hours.
candidate. All you have to do is wait for 6
So
hours
I said
here,
for like 30
and it should
seconds
be
instead.
fixed. by then.
you'll see that, yeah, it opens because I waited like 60 seconds or so. Look at that. Alright, so I'll go through here. If I can get over these stupid rods. That's still an issue. Stupid physics objects. They have to be set manually to make sure they don't like conflict with the player. And if I go through here, they'll give me a message. Congrats, you wasted your fleeting hours on Earth waiting for nothing. Implying that I waited for 6 hours. And roll credits. You'll see that the credits roll just as normal. This is an alternate ending. I want the... Yeah. I was making sure I got all the issues covered. Interesting 3D title screen. You saw the loading screens earlier. Oh, it also plays some music we have. It's from a music pack that I credited. Yeah, music and sound effects pack that we've been using widely. Yeah, so that works. I have got all my issues completed. I showed the cat collectibles working. As the player, I want my all-fired VR charge. Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. I'm just gonna hand it off to Rob now. Best of luck to you. I'll see ya.
My first task, audio volumes are added to the testing facility to up into the level, and audio line from the announcer I will be able to.
Welcome to your training exercise, Candidate 007253. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with your basic motor functions to ensure that they are functioning at maximum capacity. If, for whatever reason, your limbs have failed to meet the requirements necessary for functioning at maximum capacity, God help you.
Slight echo. Audio volumes that are. Next task I will be going over is, as the player, I want to have a visual indicator on the fuse box that it needs to be fixed. So we're going to actually quickly before other thing. Find/make a better speaker asset. If you look above the door here.
This is a door! I understand you must be frightened and confused. What is this thing's function, you ask? Why, it is quite simple to act as a gateway to places known and unknown. Just go up to it and push it with your arms.
See the visual indicator on the fuse, and once you grab the fuse, it'll turn that off. Also behind me, this door now closes. I cannot go through. That is related to my task for, as the player, I want there to be more doors that act as gates and or valves throughout the levels so I can't backtrack. Back into here.
Despite what concepts such as logic may tell you, half the job of being a soldier is also being an electrician. Please replace the fuse in the fuse box.
The visual effect has now turned off on the fuse box, and acts like normal. Later on in here, I will be able to show sound for getting hit while you have armor, and sound for taking fall damage. Sound for getting hit without armor. all part of, as the player, I want there to be audio feedback when I take damage from enemies. Also going to be more visual indicators on doors where to go. Importing in low poly prop packs, you'll see, hopefully through some of the other levels, that there will be more low poly packs. I did implement those project. They are here. Third party folder. They are low poly generic prop set 2, 4, 8, and 10. Haven't really gotten forward to adding stuff through levels, but that will eventually happen. So done. And then you see me change up the mesh for the dispenser and add materials onto it. I didn't really get to sound effects, but I will be showing that off in the playthrough for the current level. Then we'll go to somewhere that has more zombies to show off the grav gun knocking down zombies. Through the testing facility here. Two parts to show off the tasks that I have.
Great job applying your skills, candidate. You figured out how to use a button. Now is the time for the first real challenge, one where your very life is at stake. Use your jumping abilities to cross this harrowing course. If you miss a jump, don't worry. A janitor is on standby to clean up the mess you'll make on the floor.
Because there's going to be two sound effects that'll play after I do this jump. There'll be the fall damage sound effect and the damage that sound effect of that was damage sound effect. Closes, that's another valve.
In the case of your actions taken during this training course leading to injury, please understand that we are not liable for any injuries or death sustained in the bounds of this facility. But we can temporarily aid you at no cost with the help of these interactive healing stations, health and energy chargers. Just press your hands up against them and soon enough your suit power will be restored and your external wound. Use your trusty wrench to break the vent and crawl through. Only this kind of vent is allowed to be broken in this facility. Damaging any other vents on these premises will result in a $100 fine and an unsatisfactory mark on your permanent record.
So I'm about to be at the shooting range part of the facility.
This is what we call an infected. They are a common pest that infests the surface, especially in areas populated by humans. Infected are highly dangerous and must be immediately exterminated upon sight. Pick up your standard issue pistol and end this infected's miserable existence.
So if I shoot the zombie, I'm gonna go. Okay, so I can't do it here, but I will do that here in a second. So for right now. Yep. That usually unlocks the one because I have the V1 going on. Any of the weapons?
I've seen your responses to your suit messages. You must think you're so smart. You think you don't need me or my help? How about you complete this next chamber without any help or messages?
Alright, so coming up here is the puzzle room. Speed through this.
Oh, fiddlesticks. It seems the door has been broken. Please wait for the door to be fixed by our engineers. Hey, how long's it gonna take?
Oh my god.
6 hours? That's not too bad. Okay, candidate. All you have to do is wait for 6 hours here, and it should be fixed by then. Engineers.
Alright,
Hey,
back through here.
how long's it gonna take?
Little issue had to
6 hours?
stop and
That's not too bad.
to
Okay, candidate. All you have to do is wait for 6 hours here, and it should be fixed by then.
debug to all the weapons. Alright, so I was going to show off the ability of knocking down a zombie with the gravity gun.
Hey! What do you think you're doing? Get back here, immediately! That's an order!
Drop down here, use our guy. Oh, that's not working. So I do not know why that impulse is not working. It's supposed to be able to and he will I'm gonna make sure to make note of that.
You listen to me, and listen real good. Stop what you're doing this instant, and we can settle for just having an unsatisfactory mark on your permanent record. I could do worse things to you right now.
The rest of my tasks is showing off some more on the feedback. So you heard the get hit with armor and without was the little fleshy sound. You've seen the fuse box. I've shown almost all the visual indicators. Going to show off the dispenser related tasks, and that'll be it for me. That I am going to ghost to just make this a lot simpler on me because I do not want to waste any extra time than what I already am. Alright, so this is the area where you're going to come in and you're going to see the first of the dispensers. It'll look like this, and this is one where you can let the barrel roll down, push it into place, pick it up, whatever. I also added onto this explosive door the visual indicator that's on some of the other doors that you can go through in the facility, but made it orange so it looks stands out. Then past here, through this hallway, we have the new mesh for the explosive barrel dispenser, which is one that will catch the barrel and make the player have to pick it up to be able to throw it. And that is going to be it for the covering of my tasks for this sprint. I hope you enjoyed watching, and sorry that there have been issues with how this stuff works. Anyways, thanks.
Hello, my name is Tomescu, and I'm a part of Team Extendables, and today I'm going to be showcasing my my Sprint 7 Jira issues. So here is the pathway for our most recent build, and I'm going to be showcasing the Jira issues. I'll pull them up on screen from time to time. So coming out of the train, we're going to be showcasing my issues real quick. So first up, let me just go through these. Alright, so first thing we're going to show off is a side issue for the as the player, I want to have visual and audio feedback. Where is it? As a player, I want to have visual and audio feedback from events in the world, so that to better understand my environment and tools I am using. And I have multiple issues linked to that. I'm going to go through them right now. First of which is create sound for barnacles, including an idle, a grab, and a bite sound. So I'm going to be showcasing that right now. So, you are supposed to hit the button over here to roll a barrel down and get these barnacles out of the way, but I'm just going to go ahead and showcase them right now. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go right next to the barnacle. So as you can see, when you get close to them, they have a little idle sound effect for when you get too close in the radius. If you also get grabbed by them, they make another noise, and when they start giving you damage, they start biting on you. You heard that sound effect. It didn't kill me, luckily, because I had armor. We're gonna go ahead and take these guys out. There we go. Well, that's awkward. Very awkward. Alright. Looks like there's a bug that I need to take care of. Alright, so next one is has to do with the UI of weapon in the future. So let me see if there's anything else that we can get done earlier on. I also have another issue where I had to rewrite voice lines for the facility director. That was done through a script I can pull up real quick. I wrote a script out. Let's see. Here's that. So we have the original script here, as well as the new one for the voice line director that you hear in the first level. Okay. Next we have the point light on the first button in the desert level. You saw that back here. Added a point light to that just so that it can be better seen by the player. So I had some people running past that. And then some other ones that we're going to show later on in the level. And so going back to okay. So we're going to go ahead and move on through the level. Another one of my issues that I decided to make was I wanted to move the revolver spawn as well as add props to the level. Those are two different issues. And so, you know, getting past all these barnacles here, not falling down. I moved the revolver spawn further back so as to not get it confused with the next little introduction over here. I added some props around here just to give the world a bit more life and tell a bit of a story. So we're going to go ahead and pick up the revolver now. There we go. So it used to be over on that section, but now I moved it over here. And so this way, you can get to this area. So this is another one of my issues that I had right over here. Is as the player, I want to have a better introduction to using saw blades to slice open doors, as well as other mechanics so that I can have an easier time learning them. And so these are multiple, as I said, revolver spawn as one of them. Introduce grab gun launching at the wall press button. That's later on in the level. Make sure the player can't enter the dig site early. I'll show you that in a second. And then something with the rock wall, which I'm also going to show you. So, first thing is I added a nice little blinking decal here in the shape of a saw blade, sort of to give the player the idea that they got to use the gravity gun that they picked up in the first level, as well as some saw blades embedded around it, and then some wood here. So to tell the player that they got to pick up these saw blades and throw them in into the wood door. Now they can progress through. As we saw, they got a little bit angry about the fact that even one of them picked up a piece of wood there. Alright, so got some zombies here. Alright. So next couple of issues here are make sure the player can't enter the dig site early. So one of the professors was able to fall down this escarpment and not die when he fell to the bottom. So now I just made it to where they can't jump over this railing. They have to make their way into this little collection area. We just can take care of some of these guys. Yeah, so originally what would happen is that the player used to be able to destroy these walls with grenades. But obviously now explosive will not damage it other than the keyed explosives that are set on the rock wall itself. There's the rock wall for later, so that was another issue, is change outskirts desert rock wall from death to simulate a custom trigger volume that will only trigger once the plunger over there is set. So now I'm going to go and head over. And showcase another issue of mine. There we go. Take care of you. There's one hiding in the corner here. There you are. So obviously the player doesn't really have the SMG. I'm just doing this for time's sake. Really, I should kind of be using the hand cannon at this point, which is now a one-hit headshot. It is a two-hit body shot still, however. There you go, but if you nail him in the head, it will kill him one hit. So here's the plunger. The rock wall, another one of these walls here. Go ahead and slice that open. There you go. That's interesting. Another bug I found is apparently when you shoot a firearm, it likes to turn off the flashlight, which is interesting. Right, so we pick up that SMG pickup. So now you're supposed to have the SMG as well as the plunger for the dynamite. So another one of my issues is there we go. So create sound for or make the explosion from the boulder walls able to be seen and heard from across the canyon. So originally, when the player would detonate this, there would be an explosion off in the distance, but you wouldn't be able to hear it. So now I've used trigger configured attenuation settings to where when you pull this, you can hear it from across the gorge in a nice booming echo throughout the canyon. So you guys saw the explosion, it crumbles apart. Now the player is going to be able to progress through. And so this next area, I'm going to be showing my issues for the sniper rifle. Boom, 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 boom. So obviously right here you could fall off, that's where that ends. So here we go, we got the sniper rifle now. Awesome. So, some of the issues that I have for the sniper rifle were make the sniper rifle unscope when reloading, disable UI while scoped into the sniper rifle, and create sound for chambering the sniper to indicate firing readiness. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that now. When you, first of all, as you can see, the UI does disable when you zoom in. So that's that issue taken care of. And now when you pull the trigger, you can hear that chambering to know that you're ready to fire again. Immediately right after. Can't shoot in between. I was clicking as much as I could. There we go. Rechamber it. And there we go. I was out of ammo. I tried to fire again. It pulled me out of the scope. Fire again. Took him out. Nice and clean. It pulls me out again. Have to go for headshots with this thing, it's just that powerful. Here we go for a quick scope. There we go. You can reload early, obviously. Alright, now, create sound for chamber and sniper rifle, indicate fire readiness, create sounds for barnacle. Okay, so that's that entire story done. Now, we're going to move on to this next larger part. So as a player, I want to have a better correlation between the activation pad for the digger and the wave spawner, so that I can better understand that I need to survive the waves before I can progress through the canyon. And this is shown by the fact that now, just take out a couple more of these. So now on the digger we have this sparking fuse box that the player has to fix up. So we'll go over here. Pick up the fuse. Place it in the fuse box. So now that you can hear that the drill now has a sound effect to it as it goes down. And so that's another one of the issues that I had, was visual and audio feedback. Where is it? There we go. So digger operational sounds is another one of them. And then reorient PvE combat is I'm going to be showing you up next. So here come the waves. Just go ahead and defend against them right now. Here they come. Shoot, gotta reload. Not built for this. That's it. Time to swap the close quarters. Where are they going? They're running. Yeah. SMG not very good at long range. That thing's really powering up. Go. Rock wall's been destroyed. Let's go ahead and mop up the rest of these grunts. How did you get down here? Pick up some more health, ammo. Let's take out those snipers as well. Down. move through the rock wall now that it's been cleared. Alright, so now before I move on, let me get prepped for the next showcase. Point light check. Rearm PvP I think is the last one. Digger done. Point light done. Voice lines done. Add props done. Disable UI on scope. Make player on scope. Exploding boulders, yes. Create chambering rifle, yes. Create sound for barnacles, yes. Change the TNT event, yes. Make sure the player can't enter the dig site early, yes. Introduce grav gun launch at button and then the revolver response. So that's the last two I need to show you is the grav gun launch at the button and this reoriented PvP. So reoriented PvP, I kind of moved around the enemies a little bit more, as well as brought the snipers a bit closer on the range so that they can draw fire on the player sooner. So there we go. Loaded. Oh shoot. Alright, so we got these snipers over here who look like they still need a bit more of a range change because they should be able to see me right now. There we go, he sees me. There we go. Take you out. And then take you out. Alright, so then over here, after we've cleared the level, we've got one more little introduction to make for a level in the future. So on top of having this nice little ammo cache over here where we can restock on ammo, restock on health and armor. We got this little, this last little puzzle over here. So in order to get to the next level over, we've got to drop this bridge. In order to do that, looks like we've got a crap ton of barrels here, as well as some barrels already on that pad. Ooh. That goes far. So we go ahead and pick up one of these barrels, toss it at the button, and then boom. So now the drawbridge drops, and we're free to go on to the next level. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. My name is Seo Temescu, and this has been my little showcase.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Simmons. I'm part of the Extendables Capstone team, and this is our Pro Force. I am opening the build from here. And my name is Jeffrey Simmons. This video is for project and portfolio. This is the first sprint. So first thing I'm going to do is get us loaded into the game. I'm going to run over here. Click on campaigns. And then we're going to load into our campaign setting. And then I will go over to Jira. And I'll read off the first Jira task that I'm going to go over, which is, as the player, I would like to hear a ding sound when the elevator doors open. As the player, I would like to hear a ding sound when the elevator doors open. The description reads, we need to go into the elevator code and add a ding sound for when it opens. The dependency is the elevator. The completion criteria is there's a sound for when the elevator doors open. Okay, so we're going to go back into our game here. And just to make things go a little faster, I'm going to ghost. And we are going to fly to where the elevator is. Go. And I am going to type out walk,
I've seen your
turn
responses to your
my
messages.
clays and
You must
everything
think
back
you're
on.
so smart. You think you don't need me or my help? How about you complete this next chamber without any help or messages?
Okay, and you see we hit the elevator button, door closes, elevator moves up, and the door dings. Okay, for the next task, I'm going to ghost again, and this time we're going to go over in here, type out walk again. Okay, now let's take a look at our Jira task. So, as the player, I would like some of the weapons to have different names. The user story is, as the player, I would like some of the weapons to have different names. Description, we need to go into the weapons and change the name of some of the weapons. Completion criteria is change the revolver to hand cannon and change the crowbar to rinse. And then I also have two subtasks. One is to change the crowbar to rinse, and the other is to change the revolver to hand cannon. I can solo both of these in the weapon wheel. After I hit backspace to unlock all the weapons, we can go to rinse here, which was once crowbar. You see it has been changed to rinse. And we can go to where our revolver once was, and it's now called the hand cannon. Right. And going on to the next Jira task, we can go straight to it. It reads, as a player, I would like my flashlight to not work when I am out of aux power. As a player, I would like for my flashlight to not work when I'm out of aux power. The description is we need to go into the flashlight and make it not work when the player's out of aux power. The dependencies, the flashlight system, and the aux power system. The completion criteria is flashlight won't work if the power out of aux power. Okay, so let's turn our flashlight on. Okay, and we can run around as if when we was out of aux power, our flashlight turned off. And now that we have power, we can see that our flashlight turned back on. And then when we run the power down low, the flashlight turned back off. Okay, now we're going to go load my level. I just hit the numpad 3 key. And I'm going to hit right bracket to do our debug flying that we have here. And I'm going to fly over to my level. And actually, right before we get there, I can read off the next task. Okay, let's go over to Jira. Next task is as the player, I would like to be able to shoot my enemies in the head. The user stories, as the player, I like to be able to shoot my enemies in the head. The description, we need to add headshot hitboxes to the enemies and check for hitting a specific tag in a line trace to multiply the damage by 1.5. The dependency is the shooting systems. The completion criteria is be able to shoot the enemy in the head and do more damage. And I also have this broken down into 2 different subtasks. The first one is make a collision box on our base enemy and tag it headshot. Then the next subtask is go into our base weapon code, and if it hits the collision box with this tag headshot, multiply the damage by 1.5. So let's go into our game here, pull out a gun, and let's go shoot some zombies in the head. Okay, let's make sure I hit the collision box here. Okay, you see the zombie spawn. I shoot the zombie in the head, and on the left side it registers as a headshot, and 3 shots would take out a zombie in the head, but it would take 4 shots in the body. And let's take this guy out real quick to make it easier. Okay, so that's for that task. And let's take a look at our next task, which is, as a player, I would like to not be able to pass up new weapons. As a player, I would like to not pass up new weapons. We need to make new weapons more visible to the player so that I don't pass them up. The dependency is the weapon pickup system. The completion criteria is go through the slums and make sure the player can see and not pass up to new weapons. Well, in the slums, there's only one new weapon pickup, and that is the shotgun. To make this more visible, I placed it kind of in the center of the walkway here. Placed 3 glow sticks around them, and the enemies, when they spawn, kind of spawn around the shotgun, and the shotgun is also spinning to make it even more visible. Now, going on a little bit here. It's so satisfying to get headshots with the shotgun. Okay, let's take a look at our next task. And our next task is going to be, as the player, I would like there to be more ammo boxes placed throughout the slums. We need to go through the slums level of the game and place more ammo boxes so that the player can refill their ammo. And the completion criteria is have ammo boxes throughout the slums. Okay, so for this task, I'm going to have to make it to the ammo box, which is not too far. Got our new head crabs in there. And you double jump. I also made it to where there is no way to backtrack here. This thing here closes. Because last playthrough, some people was getting kind of lost and then started to backtrack. So this forces the player to go the way that we need them to. We kill the barnacle. And over here you can see this here is the ammo box. And there is 2 more, if I remember correctly, placed throughout the level. I will point them out as we go. Right now it's time to go to the next task. Which, as a player, I would like there to be more health and ammo charging stations around the slums. We need to go through the slums and add more health and charging stations to help keep the player health and armor up. The dependency is a health charging station and armor charging station. Completion criteria have more health and armor charging stations throughout the slums. See, right here we come to our first 2. That's the health, and that is the armor. We can go to our next thing here is, as a player, I would like there to be something in my way to stop me from skipping parts of the level. As a player, I would like there to be a way to stop me from skipping parts of the level. Right now, the player, after getting the double jump and dash, can skip some of the slums. Completion criteria, placing blocking volumes to stop the player from skipping parts of the slums. And for this part, I have to get a little bit further. So let's make a little bit of progression here. And go over here, pick up our key, and the floor gives out. Now over here is where I find out the player can double jump and make it over there. But as you can see, the player did hit something in the way that stops them from being able to double dash. I can show it again for one more time. Oh, that time I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. I will show it one time, or better yet, I will just hit the flying key, and as you can see from this side, I cannot make it over there because there is a blocking volume placed in the way. Okay, moving on to the next task. Okay, as a player, I want to be hitting cats that I can find in the slums. As a player, I want there to be stuff out. I actually made a mistake when I created this task. The user story should not talk about outlines. So I will correct that. The description is, I'm going to go through the slums and hide 2 cats that the player can find, and the completion criteria that there's 2 cats placed into the level. Okay, and then I will switch to my weapon here, and we will make some progress to get to the cat. Oh, I mistimed my jump there. Okay, there we go. We'll go over here. Get that key. Let's take a second and reload our shotgun here. Okay, and now we can open this door. We can go through here. We got a bunch of zombies. As you see, we got the first hidden cat. And 12 in total in the game, but there's only 2 in my level. This is slums. So we will continue on to the next cat. And down here is another ammo pickup. And health and armor stations. Got some more zombies to deal with here. Getting a little bit of dark area. Use the flashlight so you can see where we're going. And then we jump down here. Went around and reload a little bit. Alright, and then unlock this door here. Oh. Alright, let's go back down the stairs for a moment while I reload. There we go, and the next cat is hidden in here. And this would be our second cat. Okay, now let's go on to the next Jira task, which is, as the player, I would like to have a way to exit the Simon Says minigame. At the moment when the player enters the Simon Says minigame, the player cannot leave it until it is done right, so we need to go back in and add a way for the player to leave the minigame and come back if they need. The dependency is the Simon Says minigame. The completion criteria: have an exit button that will exit the minigame. And this is also broken up into 2 subtasks. And it's make an exit button in the widget for the Simon Says minigame. And the next subtask is make sure when the player clicks the exit button, the game mode is set back to the right mode and the mouse is set back to hidden. So that way we have full control over our character. So let's go back and I will take you to where I have it placed. I have a temporary one placed in my level. Okay, and as you can see, we got another ammo box. This is kind of to make sure that the player has a good stock of ammo going into this fight here. Alrighty, now we move the bomb here. And now that we got the bomb placed, we pick this up and move it over here. And the reason why I have that over there is so that way the player would naturally be on this side and facing the wall when it explodes. And now we double jump our way, and then over here is kind of like a little refilling station. We got some armor, health, and ammo. This is to restock the player as I leave my level and go into the next level so that the player is kind of refreshed and ready to go. But this is the Simon Says mini game. This normally won't be here. This is just here for the video purpose so I can show this off. This is normally will be placed in later levels. But as you can see, the player comes in, interacts with it, it pulls the game up, and then it shows the mouse. The player can hit escape, and everything sets back to normal. Player can walk up and hit E again, and it will be reset. And the player can hit exit, and everything goes back to normal. And this is all for my level in the slums. This is what I have accomplished in Sprint 1 for the class project and portfolio. Once again, my name is Jeffrey Simmons, and I'm part of the Capstones team, the Extendables, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Hello, I am Brendan Flanagan, and I'm here to talk about all of the JIRA issues that I did during this first sprint of PNP 6, our Art Pass month. I'll be opening the build from Perforce. Got the submission history number 823503. For the sake of clarity, I'm going to turn all this stuff down. And I'm just going to try and go through this as fast and quick as possible, so that we don't end up with a hugely long video. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is ghost my way up out of here. Debug menu. I'm going to load the outskirts and this outskirts, unload that level. Actually, I might as well unload my level. Okay. So the first thing I want to do, the first JIRA task that I will be discussing has to do with barnacles. So I just wanted to make sure that this is good. Okay. Alrighty, so first order of business is this bug issue with the this barnacle bug issue. Barnacles ended up like launching the player and killing them. I'm assuming, not assuming, I know for a fact it was through the fall damage. I did some debugging to find that that's what it was. So in order to fix this, what I did is actually, when the player gets caught by a barnacle, you know, they get taken up, get some bites taken out of them, and then I actually turn off fall damage because I couldn't get the launching to stop. But the fall damage I could at least prevent by making the player take no fall damage. Just for a very small period of time. And then after, like, just that, right after the player hits the ground, right here, you know, fall damage turns back on. But at least when the player hits the ground, they get the normal 3 bites, no crazy fall damage, and we're good. Alright, so that was that JIRA issue. I'm gonna do a couple of things here again. Actually, let me ghost out of here, and I will load this level and unload this level. Work my way over there. Get myself to the start, and we'll keep going through some more issues here. Okay. So, let me pause. So there's one issue out of the way, the barnacles that was launching and killing the player. We saw that it does not. Another bug, that the head crabs were moving after they died. They would kind of follow the player around and they wouldn't attack, but they would follow the player. So I had to go into their behavior tree and make sure it knew that while it was dead, it couldn't go into its, follow behavior. So we were able to fix that. So here's these head crabs. You see them moving around. Same with this guy. And now he's got a head crab. Okay, so now we got 2 head crabs, and I can kill them. And they stop moving. And we don't have a death animation on them yet, but you can see them moving around. This one's alive. He'll come and try and get me, and now I can kill him. And he doesn't follow me. Yay, bug fixed. Okay. So, let me see what the next bug is. Oh, well, actually, I don't think the next one's a bug. I should just say next Jira issue. Right, so as a player, I want the E to disappear after interacting with objects in general. So we have a base interact object that most of our interactable objects, including our doors and other things, derive from. So like this lamp you can see has an E on it. It's a little hard to see. But when you press E, the E didn't disappear. Oh no. That's not good. I swear I put it on everything. I put it on the child, but I guess it's not on the lamps. Well, I know I could fix it because I put the function in there. Maybe I just didn't apply it to the little tiny lamps. Unfortunately, I got rid of all the doors here. Otherwise, I could show you that I know it works on the doors. If I find an E that disappears, I'll point it out. Right. Let's see. So then my next issue is, as a player, I want there to be desert building material added to the buildings in the outskirts level. So essentially there was like 4 things I had. We have windows and solid walls that I needed to have like a desert look and the military look. And that's actually all surrounding me. So here we've got kind of that desert look, windowed walls and solid walls. Got the desert look to it, and then over here they've got the concrete walls with some windowed walls as well that kind of match the testing facility back there. Just to tie in some more solidarity across the game, that all these buildings look, or I should say the military's buildings look the same. These ones are more, kind of probably already been here, and then these guys start building their stuff, taking over the city and all that. So, I know I'm not here for combat. What's the next issue? Yes, this is going to come on a little bit later. I'll get to that. Feedback from the auto turrets. Right, okay, so let me get to... I guess I could talk about this one because I know we're about to come up on one. So I wanted there to be more vent crawling situations so the game feels more cohesive throughout, because a vent crawling situation is shown in the tutorial. So let me play the game for a moment. I'll show you my next vent situation. Right, so I added this setup over here. It's nothing too extensive. It's got a dead end where the player could stand up. A couple more dead ends in this spot down here. And that kind of acts like a valve as well to lock the player in here until they learn how to do this to get out. But like I said, I'm not truly here to play the whole level. I could just get to the next spot where I want to show you some cool stuff. Okay, pause. Let me go back to... So there you saw one vent crawling situation. You'll see the other one. I will show that. So the next one I had was, as a player, I'd like there to be a visual feedback for when the player is hacking something, like a radio wave effect. So I could show that off right here in a moment. And the player picks up this hacking device. They come in here and the tutorial tells them to aim at antenna. I'll press H to hack. That's easy. So if you're not looking at the antenna, nothing really comes on your screen. But if you are looking at the antenna, you get this purple kind of effect that'll, you can go through walls if it wanted to. Actually, I wasn't ready yet, so that's good. I could do it one last time just to show it click through the wall for a second. And this leads me into my next task I wanted to talk about. That as a player, I'd like more feedback to come from the auto turret so that I am more aware of their current state. So I kind of subtasked this one. And I'll walk you through these as I kind of talk about what I'm doing here. So this is an auto turret that is considered an enemy right now. It's going to try and shoot and try and kill me. So I can't get too close. But what I can try and show you is these little clamps that are tucked into it. And let's see if I can get around over here. Oh. Right. So, auto turret. I guess I will talk about these things one thing at a time. So I wanted to create a lock mechanism that visibly holds the auto turret in place. Those little clamps I was just talking about. I wanted to have the locks disengage upon hacking, allowing for the auto turret to be moved. And then I wanted to have the barrels tuck away when they're idle. And I wanted to add a light to the turret just to visibly convey when it has targets. And there's actually 4 different lights that all correspond to its hostile status, if it has a target, or if it's friendly and it has a target. So, let me try and get far enough away from this. These soldiers just aren't active. That's a collectible cat. One of my other issues. Okay, so back to this issue though. So here's the turret. I'm looking at it through my sniper scope so you can get a good look without it shooting me. So it's got the clamps, got some red lights on it. And you walk up close to it, you can see there's no barrels sticking out, so the barrels are tucked away when it's idle. Get close, the barrels come out and start shooting, and actually the yellow lights, I'm sorry, as I back away, should lose me. The yellow lights, sorry, the red is coming from a little bit of material that's on it, but the yellow lights turn to red when you get too close. So hopefully that's enough feedback to give the player the idea that this is a bad thing to get close to. And obviously it's also hurting me pretty bad, so. Let me hack this, but pay attention to the clamps because that's one of my Jira issues. See the clamps come down, and now it's green, and it's free to move. It wasn't one of my issues, but I also made this thing very hard to tip over. It's got a low center of gravity and it's very heavy. So now I actually also want to show this working with one more situation. Okay, so it's friendly, it's green lights, and now it's purple lights when it's friendly and it's got enemy targets. So the lights were yellow when it was an enemy and had no targets. Then it was red when it was an enemy turret and had targets. It's green when it's friendly with no targets, and it's purple when it's friendly with targets. So hopefully that's enough feedback to give the player an idea of what you know, was happening with that turret there. And we can see the barrels are tucked away now too. So back to here. I have another vent crawling situation right in front of me. Ah, yes, ammo crates. I have them quite all around, and then hidden collectibles, and this one I'm going to need to fly to a different level. So I just showed you these tasks that have to do with my auto turrets and other subtasks. I have another vent crawling situation in front of me. I want to show you this. It's hopefully not too much for a player here. So inside these vents, I got little glow sticks because this vent system's kind of big. I'm gonna go this way first. I mean, I know which way is what. I know where all the dead ends are because I made it. But that's not the point. If I go this way, another dead end here, but a vent, so I might as well pop this off. But you quickly realize it's just a little backtrack. Brought me right back to the stairs right before the camera saw me. So we didn't really go anywhere. I wanted to try and give the player the feeling that, like, hey, these actual are vents. They actually do go all around. All that jazz. So you can come up here. Go through these vents, another dead end, right? And actually you can fall down here. And you can end up right back down that way where you fell before. Oh, dead ends. Uh-oh. I'm lost in my own vents. Okay, okay. So this little spot, another little dead end that way. There's another vent here. That actually puts you in behind that force field. And you can unplug it, and you go right back where you were. So another little backtrack. But, you know, nothing doesn't really set you back too far. You can go right back in the vents. And you gotta go up. That's the real deal. You just gotta go up. And then you find yourself in this room. There's some more RPGs. And you can shoot down a helicopter. Oh, I missed. Oh no. Right, so I don't think I need to go through the whole level, but let me just talk about these other issues down here. So ammo crates, I needed to add ammo crates to the level somewhere near the first roof fight and then the second roof fight. And then add my hidden collectibles, which is just 2 cats. I just needed to have 2 cats in my level. That was what I needed. So what I'm going to do here is just ghost my way around to show you that. So here's the first roof fight. It has an ammo box. Oops. Go down. Right down here. So there's that ammo box. And it also is close to another one of my kitty collectibles. So just to show you that these boxes are good. You can see we got that cat. Works. We got this. Ready to give me all the ammo I need. So here's a second roof fight, right? And I said that this needs some more, another case ammo, and that is right down here. So while the ammo boxes aren't on the roofs, they are close enough that, or I should say, and actually also before the player even gets in this building, there's another ammo box actually. Sorry, not walk. Ammo box right here. So they can get ammo, go to the roof, have the roof fight, and have some more ammo to back them up. I also got another ammo box over here. And I'm also flying around to show the other, just the fact that the whole level is textured up. Don't have any missing textures. And now, the only thing I need to do, oh, not that level, actually, this level. I just need to show that as a player I want to apply the attack helicopter mesh to the hunter chopper. I never put the second sentence. So that I am more convinced of what it is. So yeah, it's still moving with the same skeleton mesh and all that goody stuff. So let me just fly over here. Because I know that this is the level actually where so this is the dropship chopper. So this was already done in a previous sprint. But now there should be another hunter chopper in this level somewhere. There it is. So yes, the hunter chopper has this new mesh that is very clearly a military attack helicopter. So that was that task. And let me see if I could find, oops, maybe the activation zone to see that thing move and work. Oh gosh. I just know that it's not activated, that's why it's not moving at this current moment. There. Oh, I see. That's the one that's on, that's just for Ben's level. It's just a taste to show that these people are ready to kill civilians as fast as they can. Let me see if I can actually get to an actual AI one, just to show the AI is working. I know he's got one in this level. There we go. Now I just gotta make sure I activate it. I wonder where his activation zones are. Oh well. I'm just gonna have to take my word that they work. I'm not, I don't want to spend too much time. But yes, those are my Jira tasks for this week. And, I appreciate you watching. The only two tasks that I didn't get to, was actually an affordance. It's because that new mesh has rockets on the side. Our original AI just drops bombs, and it still does that. But I was going to switch it over to shooting a rocket, but I just never got around to making that big of a change. And then, this late in the project, I didn't want to have, too big of a change to the AI's behavior. But I might still do it. We'll see. And then these props, there's a bunch of stuff in the level already, but, based off mechanics. But there's still just some stuff I want to throw in there that's like makes it more lived in and destroyed. I don't know. But yeah, everything else is all done. Thanks for watching.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Flagg. I am part of the capstone team, The Extendables, and this is our project and portfolio 6 Milestone 1 build demonstration video. So this is the newest build. It's changelist 823503. This is revision of the project 62 out of 62, and I'm going to go ahead and open this from Perforce. So let's go. Alrighty, existential loading screens. And this is our game with a new name, Renegade 17. I'm gonna go ahead, turn this music down, and let's turn this down. I'm over here. You know what? Let's do that too. Cool. Video, good. Okay, go ahead and click start here. And even though this is here, this is still a little loud. Okay, alrighty. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Jira list here. Actually, do not need Perforce anymore. There we go. Okay, so first I'm going to start with this one. This is BGA XD399. As the player, I want the game's hub, map, and level selection system to be well organized and understandable, making it easy to configure the level teleportation portal for accessing the game's campaign versus extras levels. So I usually like to make my completion criteria into subtasks. So we got first, add blocking volumes / kill plane to hub map. So I have done that. You used to be able to fall to your death if you got curious and ran over here, but now, try as you might, you cannot escape. And somehow, even if you did, for instance, I will enable console command ghost and re-enable walk. If you fall, you will hit the kill plane and respawn. So that actually completes that criteria. You cannot leave. There's only one way out through this portal. Okay, so next. Change the hub level select menu so that it is organized into campaign and extras or similar organized selection layout. That is this here. So you used to be able to access all the levels in one big messy menu. Now it just loads this. Still does not yet mesh with like our other UI stuff, but it's a lot easier to read. Okay, hit back to go back. I can hit extras to still access all those old prototype levels, prototype 2 levels, and the individual capstone levels out here. But without the persistent level, they don't have lighting. So those are there just to kind of show. You can load into them if you need to, though. I can go back. And lastly, I can choose the campaign. So that should complete that, which will lead us into the last subtask of that. Okay, here we are in the training facility, and okay, so last one for this one. Add the ability, if possible, to load into certain specific levels / maps that are featured in the normal campaign's persistent level. So, because it's a streaming level, there's a couple different ways to do that, but for right now, for playtesting purposes, normally you progress just stage 1 through stage 6, but I have added a debug menu. Fancy. Okay, so this is accessed with keyboard commands. You can press 0, you can press backspace. You can also, down here, level streaming keyboard shortcuts, just num keys 1 through 6. You can also unload levels if you hold down the period. Okay, load and unload streaming levels, pressing the appropriate button, and then click on the level name. Once it's loaded, teleport. You can also access the debug cheat thing from here as well. You can go back. So, we're in the testing facility right now, so to load a new node level, there's these buttons. So let's go ahead and load Wow, I do not know what that sound is. I think it's a barnacle or a zombie, but don't think it's supposed to be there. So let's go ahead and go to outskirts. Here we are, teleported there. I can go back to the facility if I want.
To your training exercise, candidate 007253.
The audio will still play, unfortunately, but
yourself with your basic motor functions to ensure that they are functioning at maximum capacity. If, for whatever reason, your limbs have failed to meet the requirements necessary for functioning at maximum capacity, God help you.
Okay, my limbs were good, so let's go ahead and load the slums. There's that strange Sasquatch sound. Slums. Load the outskirts. Okay, and downtown. There we are. It's a little loud in here. You know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna unload some of these other levels to free up our CPU, because normally we'd have level stripping volumes that would do that for us. And here we are in the last level. The text on the buttons gets a little weird if you start unloading levels, but that completes that. So you can load levels and teleport. I'm actually going to go back to the main menu just because that sound is kind of loud and it plays off the whole thing. So that does complete this issue with the hub. Okay, next I'm actually going to, let me do this first here. Jump back into here. Make sure this is still good. Yep, okay. To show off some of these, I'm actually going to do our testing sandbox where it's a lot easier. This is not real life, this is the testing sandbox. Okay, so let's do this first. Let's see what's the easiest one to try first here. Let's do this one. As the player, I would like to receive audiovisual feedback when picking up the HEV suit upgrade pickups and when activating, deactivating the mobility gear abilities, so I can understand which abilities I have acquired and equipped. So the HEV suit pickups, which the first one is double jump and dash. Right, yeah. The other one is the mobility pickup, which is the grappling hook and hook shot, but they indicate on screen which abilities have just been unlocked, acquired, when the pickup is collected. So, show that here in our testing sandbox. So this green one would be the first pickup that you'd get, which is double jump and dash. You can see it has added that. Second one's mobility gear. Got that, got a sound effect that you've acquired it. Let's see. Equipping and unequipping the mobility gear, which is the grappling hook and hook shot, give audio visual feedback and HUD feedback. Okay. Oop. It's a little loud. So right now it is unequipped. If I pull out a gun, it's fine, but if I equip it, for right now we have just that sound effect and that, and then you can, to your heart's content, swing around. And there it was, turning off. Okay, so that completes that. And lastly, the HUD features on-screen indicators of information such as current/max jump count, which is the jumps available, and current/max dashes count, dashes available. So down in the corner, you can see the little twos. So double jump, 1, 2, turns color, changes number, then resets when it resets. Dash, let's go down here. So, got orange, and it should reset in a second. Yep, and if I do it twice, it turns red. So those are, boom, and here we have our pickups. Okay, alright, I rescued a cat while demonstrating video. Okay, so I believe that completes the BGXD309 with the suit pickup. As the player, I'd like to have time dilation ability be unlockable and naturally introduced to me during gameplay progression in a way that demonstrates its usefulness. I will actually come back to that. So what I'm going to do now, oh, there's one more I can do. This was the big one, took a while. Part of this actually involved bringing in the new mesh because this bug relates to that. So it wasn't caused by bringing in our game art mesh, but I had to kind of do both at the same time, make sure it worked. So camera has strange artifact and viewport when exiting the vehicle if the player has previously died at any point in the play session. So if you died and got it and then respawned, got on the airboat and got out, there'd be a weird mesh in front of the camera. And I actually have a video of that. So this is the old airboat. Okay. So let's get to the point where we die. There we go. Okay. Now he has been in the airboat. He got out of the airboat. It comes back. There's a weird mesh in front of the camera. Could not figure out what it was for the longest time, even if you depossess the player. It would disappear. So that is that. So just to prove that now works. Oh, there we go. Okay, let us go to... Actually, I can do this even without them. This is our new airboat. Get in and drive around. But, okay, and get out. Nothing weird. See if I blow myself up. Okay, get in, get out, no strange meshes. So, that actually should complete that task. Every time I hit Alt-Tab, it's equipping that. So, that completes that task. Okay, did these, as, I'll show this, I guess, here too. As the player, I would like for the vehicle-mounted heavy machine gun to feel very powerful and destroy most targets immediately, but require a small amount of sustained fire before it destroys hunter choppers and APCs. So before, it would just kill everything in one shot, no matter what, the airboat gun. So now, using the airboat vehicle's heavy machine gun, it should destroy the hunter choppers and APCs quickly, but not instantly or from a single round. It takes a moment of sustained fire from the heavy machine gun to destroy them. So let's go over to that. Okay, there's the APCs over here. Got the hunter chopper over there. So you do not start with it equipped. However, let's go over to this station here. Okay, these guys taken out fairly quick, but these take a little bit of sustained fire. This is lit on fire. Not a ton of health, and same thing with this over here. Okay. Oop. He is dropping bombs on me. Okay. Got him. Alright. That takes care of that. That is intense now. So, that was a little loud. But that actually also showed off, which I can show too, because it's part of my other task, but heavy machine gun now has different damage. Okay, I think for now I'm going to go to my actual level and skip to the part that the rest of this real quick I can knock out. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and load into my level. And because of... Oh, it's a little loud. Still a little loud. Okay. Alrighty, so... Let's go ahead and do this next. Okay. Here we go. As the player, I would like for the downtown map to feature impassable city wall borders so that it's clear which areas I can traverse, and that it feature materials that don't drop my frame rate so that I can have a smooth gameplay experience. And the completion criteria, all surrounding city wall border objects feature materials, and materials used on them are consistent and show clear indications that they are impassable. Okay, so that would be these walls here. I unloaded Brennan's level behind me, which is why that has disappeared. But as you can see, there. And then other than these top parts, I'm going to go ahead and use this. Okay, got a post-processing volume. And it's just to make sure there's no other levels loaded. Okay, so It's a big level, it's still got a lot of stuff, but unlike before, the frame rate is still a lot better. It's at least playable now. Except my aim is actually bad regardless. Okay. So, city walls. Next. As the player, I would like for the downtown map to feature background skyscrapers, so that is clear which areas I can traverse, and feature materials that don't drop my frame rate, same kind of thing, so that I can have a smooth gameplay experience. All surrounding low-rise skyscraper objects feature materials, and materials used on environmental low-rise skyscraper objects are consistent and show clear indications are not reversible. So the same as with the walls, just with the city stuff, the background buildings. Okay, so got just these are still temporary, but I wanted to make them consistent. So the farther you get, the less intensely detailed they are. Once you get kind of down into here, the lighting is a little weird. Those are actually shadows from these things hitting it, which is why those buildings look so strange. But you'll see when I get up closer. Let's see. So there's actually like, I can just. Okay. Cheese it. Normally I'd have double jump at this point. Okay, so you can see the city wall stays consistent still. It's a lot brighter than it used to be. And the actual buildings, while still kind of temporary because they're not quite low poly, but they do not really affect the frame rate, or at least to any big degree. And then as they get farther away, they decrease, or they're just meshes. So that's that. You know what, I want to turn this a little bit more. Actually, I guess I'll gotta go over here anyways. So that takes care of those. Okay. The next one. As the player, I want access to more hackable auto turrets in later levels, so that I can continue to use the auto turret hacking ability in new and varied combat scenarios and help balance combat against increasingly overwhelming numbers of enemies. Downtown map features auto turrets that can be hacked in areas that help keep the combat feeling balanced, such as with larger amount of enemies than normally encountered. That is going to actually bleed into this next one. As the player, I want to engage the Hunter Chopper enemy AI in a segment using the airboat vehicle and its mounted heavy machine gun so that I can engage enemies in new and varied ways using my vehicle. And that actually I kind of showed off earlier. The Hunter Chopper detects and engages the player when in range, regardless of if the player is in the vehicle or not. And then this I will get to because it's related to the hacking thing too. So I'm probably just gonna, if I can get there quick. If not, I'll skip past this part, just so you don't have to watch. Okay. And unfortunately for these guys, the riders are unfortunately been taken out, so that kind of begins the conflict. Let's see if I can just get in here because the next part relates to this. And if this takes too long, I will cut this out. Okay, got this backup pickup just in case. Still working in level with that. Cat. Okay. Now, unfortunately, in this lab, it is the lights I accidentally turned off when I was trying to improve the frame rate. So,
access granted.
Alrighty. So we'll get to our pickups. And I'm probably going to skip forward here just so I don't have to go through any of this. Actually. Here we are. Okay. Got that tutorials, the grappling stuff. Now, time dilation. Time dilation ability is locked behind the HEV suit mobility upgrade pickup. That one's kind of hard to demonstrate. Basically, if I hit shift while in the air without that pickup, it won't let me use the bullet time while in the air, whereas previous sprints it would. That relates to, so now I do have that ability, which I'll show, but time dilation ability is demonstrated in the downtown map with a brief IPM progressive flow segment. So let's skip to that. Should be right here. Okay, so ride this elevator up top. And upon reaching the top, here we go. Time dilation ability. Usually I have the door open first, but your new upgrades have also unlocked a secret powerful technique. When airborne, hold the left shift key to temporarily slow time and your fall. Who knows how else you could use it. Okay, so now this is demonstration. I'm almost done. Up here, you can now hold it. So I kind of introduced this area to hopefully, since there's a lot of guys here. Oh, I have ammo. Oh no, I am out of ammo. Well, let us. There we go. So I was kind of hoping they would just kind of like use this area as a experimental ground. I mean, there is a risk, obviously. Oop. Okay, well, I think that's probably enough of that. So it's just kind of more for player fun than anything else. So that takes care of that. Okay, now on to the next thing. I believe this is the last one. Okay, so we got time dilation. Alright, downtown map features auto turrets that can be hacked. That is down here. Oop. Oh, overshot it. Okay, that's okay. I should spawn right where I need to go anyways. There we are. Oop. Alrighty. Next airboat. I mean, auto turret. Pardon me. Okay. Right now, let's just go ahead and do this. That's the other thing you can do. You can freeze time to help your shots count. So that is kind of a secondary thing that can be useful. Okay, so I need to go get the hacking device that I hid over here. Keep doing that on accident. Come on, I can do it. Okay, there we go. Oh, and they got me at the end. But as you can see, it's now taking out. Okay, if anyone comes near me, it'll start attacking them. Alrighty, last segment here. Okay. Okay. As the player, want to gauge the hunter chopper enemy AI in a segment using airboat vehicles, heavy machine guns, so I can engage enemies. They detect the player. And layout and flow of the vehicle combat section feels open, but also focused on the combat driving sections. Gives the player an indicator where to go, while also being bright enough to see what's going on in front of them. So, engaging helicopter, and now, whereas before, I have added a flashlight, or like a headlight to this. Still not quite polished yet entirely, but it kind of feels open. Hopefully, it does lead the player in certain directions. Just kind of some light combat here. Drive through here, blocked off, and then they're forced to go through. Oop, went too fast. Forced to go through this equip station here for the heavy machine gun. Alright, so this is pretty open. I'm probably going to add some stuff to this, but because it's still a little bare. Just kind of mess everyone up if I want to. Oop, hit an object there. Where are we? Oh no, well, fortunately I think our airboat has gone away. Fell through the ground. Alright, well, add that to the list, right? And that is why you need the airboat, because they really do attack you alive. Oh, I need to add a respawn there, too. Alrighty, well, just to kind of cheat it, show that they do attack you. Alright, well, that pretty much takes care of that. You know what, I might actually cut just to show a better version of that, so let me try that. I'll be back. Okay, and we're back. So let's just kind of demonstrate this again one time. Just quickly. Just kind of breeze through and try and take out some choppers. Got some fast zombies here. Alright. Okay, so like I said, I still gotta do some like picking up and rearranging of a lot of this stuff, but every now and then too. Okay. Let's see if I can get away from him. Fast. Someone is shooting me. Okay, so like I said, it does need a little bit of polishing, but they do. It kind of just a big action set piece that's just pretty much just designed for fun. And okay, there we go. And with that, that should wrap up most of my tasks. So thank you very much. Just to reiterate, I guess that was feel powerful, engage the hunter chopper enemy island airboat segment in varied ways. So thank you very much, and I'm going to go ahead and pass this along to the next person.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Span, and this is my Milestone 1 video for Project and Portfolio 6. Go ahead and open up the build. The way we have our levels set up, I'm going to have to do some flying around to get to mine. There's still a little bit of a problem with the level select menu, or either that, or I just don't know how to work it completely just yet.
Welcome to your training exercise, candidate 007253. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with your basic motor functions to ensure that they are functioning at maximum capacity. If, for whatever reason, your limbs have failed to meet the requirements necessary for functioning at maximum capacity, God help you.
Okay, here's mine. Okay, so let me pull up some of my tasks real quick. Okay, so the first task we'll go over is BGXD 344, which is, as a player, I want the katana to have a sweeping trace so that I don't have to be aiming my crosshair at the enemy to hit them. Completion criteria is the line trace that follows the path of the katana blade, and if an enemy is hit by the line trace, they take damage. So I'll go ahead and show you the line trace. There's a few enemies up ahead that I can also show you as well. Okay, so the line trace, as you can see, follows the animation of the blade. Doesn't matter where I'm looking. Draws a line at each point from the tip of the sword to the hilt per frame. Now I do have to get kind of close right now on the enemies. That's just something that'll work out next sprint, maybe a snapping mechanic or something to the enemy. But if it hits them, which it missed right there, then it applies damage, just like that. And then let's look at the next one. Okay, so the next one we can go over is, as a player, I want to have buttons that recall the elevators in the high-rise levels so that I can call them back down. And then the completion criteria is button separate from elevator on ground level, and button calls elevator back down. And there are a few spots that I did this at. One being in the beginning of the level, which you saw, and then one right here. So let's say that the player gets in and goes up, but they respawn down low. They can recall it. It comes back down. And then let's see. Okay, the next one we're going to go over is, as a player, I want to have a force field on the second wall run panel of the last levels that I am forced to wall run. And this is BGXD 339. Completion criteria is that the force field blocks the player. So we'll go over to there real quick. So that was the first wall run. So the second wall run is coming up. Right here, this is the second wall run. There's a force field. I'll show you that it blocks the player. You cannot go through it. So it forces them to wall run. Okay, and then another one that we can do right here is one of the subtasks. So we'll go into, as a player, I want another area where I can use, oh no, not this one, my bad. Be BGXD 304. As a player, I want there to be more areas where previous mechanics are available for use so that I have more opportunity to use what I learned in previous levels. Completion criteria is more of the game's previous mechanics are available for use by the player, and there are multiple options for combat. We're going to go over the subtask, which is add force field to at least one puzzle area in the level, which is displayed right here. Where we have this laser grid introductory puzzle. Pretty easy, but there's a force field right here, and the player has to remember that they can grab these, if I don't have that equipped, that they can grab these barrels and throw them at the button. And that'll trigger this laser grid to open up this door, which they can then go in and hit this button and open up the next one. Another task we can go over, which I think is right here. Yeah. So we have the main task of BGXD 347, which is, as a player, I want the wall run panels to be realigned, so that it's easier for me to time the jumps. And in BGXD 348, which is a subtask of this, we have realigned the consecutive wall run panels inside the facility. So that is this one. These consecutive wall run panels. So I realign these so it's a little bit easier to make these jumps. even with my frame rate really choppy. Okay, and then coming up, we're about to have another task completed. Sorry for that downtime. Let's go over it real quick before we get down there. Okay, so it's this task, which all of the subtasks are in the same area, so we'll just go over those as well. So we have, as a player, I want another area where I can use the laser grids offensively so that I can kill a group of enemies while they're shooting at me. And then completion criteria is laser grid is in an area where the enemies can fight back, and also laser grid can kill at least some of the enemies in that area. Subtasks are going to be add at least one laser grid to the area, add wall button that activates the laser grid, place barrels near the button so the player can throw the barrels at, let's see what this is, at the wall button. And then make, oh, no, not that. And then place a force field that covers the button so that if the player wants to use the laser grid, they're required to throw a barrel at the button. This was supposed to be kind of like an optional thing, so if they took the time to remember that they're supposed to throw barrels at the wall button, they would get rewarded by making this fight a lot easier. If not, then they can always do it with a gun. But right here, if you can hit it, which I cannot. There we go. Okay. And kill some of the enemies in this area, except for this guy. But that way, if they decide to take the time to do that, then they get rewarded for that. If not, then they can always just kill them with their weapons. Alright, and then another task that's coming up is the other subtask of this, of BGXD304. So subtask is going to be BGXD335, and it is add explosive barrels to at least 2 combat areas in the level. So this is the first one coming up, and the second one's right after. So explosive barrels, so if they want, oh, or if we have range, hold on. There we go. So if they want to use these, they can. You do have to time it to where they're close to him, but and then this one is the second area. There's one right here. Oh, I showed it too late though. My frame rate's extremely choppy. Alright, what else? Okay, I think the only ones left are the other aligned wall runs, which is this BGXD 349, which is realign wall run panel before grappling hook wall run, which is coming up here. And then right after that will be BGXD 350, which is realign consecutive wall run panels right before the executive building. Oh, there's a cat. Okay, so right here is that first realignment. So this was a little low before, so they could just kind of like jump on top of it. But now they kind of jump right into the middle of it. And then this is the second one. This is the final wall run sequence. These before were like wider, and it was hard to jump between the panels. So I moved the buildings in closer together, so it's kind of easier to hit these now. Just feels better, feels smoother. I forgot to heal up. Oh no. I don't know what happened to this elevator panel. That's weird. I wonder if it still goes up. It does. That'll be fixed in the next build. I don't know what happened there. And then this is the ending sequence. And thank you for watching. Sorry that was a little rough. My frame rate drops because I have to do this on my laptop. But yeah, that's it. Thank you.